It's just Shauna again. And in a previous video, I showed you that the book I had by George Koskimaki actually has his autograph. And the whole story behind that is actually pretty interesting. In June of '09, is a while ago, I had been collecting books for research materials about the 101st Airborne, World War II, whatever, because I was currently researching and planning for a World War II novel about the U.S. Army Airborne, specifically the 101st, because there was a wealth of information out there. In my research, I stumbled upon Mark Bando's books, and not only were they a wealth of information, but they became invaluable to me. And when I reached out to try and just kind of ask him some questions about it, specifically about the 3rd Battalion of the 506, he actually invited me and my father up to Michigan for a 101st reunion in Detroit. So back to June of '09, my dad and I went to Michigan, and I got the chance to meet author and historian Mark Bando, who he's a fantastic guy. He's just great. Whatever he could do, he was willing to help me in my research. And if you haven't read his books and you love to read anything about World War II, read his books. He's done his research. Even the World War II vets that I met stated how he was the one that they would go to like, is this right? Because they couldn't always remember. There's a lot of stuff that happened, but he had like this, Mark Bando had this Rolodex memory of everything that happened. Well, fast forward to the day that I went to what they called a lunch bunch, which was 101st Airborne reunion that I believe was only twice a year that they welcomed women into their group, which include war brides from England and France. They were there. I didn't get a chance to talk with them. I wish I had. I got consumed with talking with all the veterans as well. And one of the men I met was George Koskimaki. And when Mark introduced me, he of course said that I was writing a novel, or trying to write a novel about the 101st Airborne. Well, after that introduction, and I went over to this table where they had some like books and memorabilia and just all kinds of neat things that I didn't expect to be there. And one of the things there was George Koskimaki's books. And so he took me aside and said, have you read my books? And he said, I think they might be beneficial for your research. He was very helpful. He felt like whatever I can do to help, I would like to help you. Not his words verbatim, but that was his sentiment. Anyway, I said I had Hell's Highway, which was his second book about the Screaming Eagles in Holland. And then I have the Battered Bastards of Bastogne, which was the Screaming Eagles and, of course, Bastogne, as well as into Germany. And I said, I have yet to get the first one. So he took the book right off the table, and he had a pen on him, signed it, and handed it right over to me and said, here's my help in your research. And this is why this book is one of my favorite books I own, because George was just such a wonderful person. He was so easy to talk to. He was so helpful, and he didn't look at this teenage girl and think, she's not serious about this. He treated me like any other adult, and he wanted to help in my research. And so I really cherish this book, and wherever I go, this is going to go with me. And I'll forever have that memory of him just sitting down with me and talking with me. And of course, giving me this book. I had money on me. I was going to pay him for it, and he just gave it to me because that's just the kind of guy he was. And one of the reasons why he was probably the favorite I met that day, because he was just amazing. And I'm so blessed that I got to meet him. Anyway, that is the story behind this book, that autograph. And this is the first video in a series I would like to do about that 101st Airborne reunion, because I have a lot of stories. It was an amazing experience. And so I hope you'll follow along. Thanks. Bye.